So the very first step to make your crane is find a good place to work, clear everything off your desk, your table, and we can get started. So you'll want to start with a square sheet of paper. Any kind of paper should work. I'm using printer paper. I just cut it into a square, which is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So this first fold is going to be on the diagonal from corner to corner, and you should end up with this triangle shape. So go ahead and do that, and make sure your creases are nice and crisp. So you can go over that with your finger. Now I've opened that fold, and I'm doing from the other corner to corner. Same step, go ahead and crease that. If you want to be fancy, that's called burnishing. All right, really important, flip it over, flip your paper over. I screwed that step up a few times. All right, so you're gonna wanna fold it in half now. So just fold it in half. I don't do the hamburger hot dog thing, plus I don't think that applies for a square piece of paper, but you can let me know if that helps you. All right, so unfold it, and now we're gonna fold it in half again the other way. And crease it again, just go over that fold. All right, so now here's the part that can be a little tricky, but it should be easy if you folded it right and did the flip like we just talked about. So it should kind of collapse in on itself to form this kite shape. So everything will just fold into that sort of shape. You're gonna notice that you're gonna have this top side that's enclosed and the bottom's gonna kind of be open. All right, bring that bottom open part and make that face you. All right, so the next step is to take the corners, right, and bring that into that inner seam. Just line it up as precisely as you can, and then you're going to want to kind of make that fold. The other side, you're going to do the exact same thing so it looks symmetrical. Bring the edge to the seam in the center of your kite shape. And then you're left with this kind of triangle shape on the top. You're going to want to make a crease there, because the next step we're going to do is called a petal fold, and you need that crease to do it. All right. So we're actually going to unfold what we just did, and we're going to take that bottom tab and just pull it up. So pulling it up, and you should see this petal fold action come into effect. So once you pull it up and push it down to the other side, you should notice that the edges will fold in on themselves. What I'm doing there is just redefining some of the creases I did before so it folds evenly. All right. So take your time to try to make it as accurate as possible. Go over your seams if you have to. Re-burnish your edges. And then we do the exact same steps on the other side. So starting with taking that corner and folding the edge to the seam in the center. And on the other side, the same thing. Edge should be matching that seam on the center. All right, and you're left with that triangle on top again. I'm just gonna fold that one more time, just to be sure. All right, then unfold everything you just did. Those two tabs. Bring the bottom tab up and out, and it should fold in on itself with this petal fold. All right, make sure everything's nice and flat. Okay, so you'll notice these are going to become the wings, and that little triangle on top is going to be where the back is. So you can use that as a reference point. The two bottom parts there, that's going to become kind of the neck and the tail. Alright, so go ahead and just lay it with those two, the neck and the tail parts facing you, and we're going to take that corner and fold the edge to match it with the center. Alright, on the right side, and then we're going to do the same thing on the left side. Alright, go ahead, crease that. Once we're done, we're going to flip this over and do the exact same step. So the edge aligned with the center on the right side, and then do the edge aligned with the center on the left side as well. Alright, so what we can do now is take these two parts that are going to be the neck and the tail. We're going to start with the neck, and we're going to just take that whole part and fold it upwards, right? Fold it upwards like that. You'll notice you will have to bend that crease, that center crease, the other direction and redefine it a little bit. Just like that. And on the other side, exact same thing. Kind of open it up and fold it straight upwards. And you're gonna make sure that crease is now bending the other way. Try to make it as neat as possible. Alright, so it should look like this. Go ahead and pull the neck and the tail part out a little bit at about a 45-degree angle, and then just press it flat. So you're gonna have to choose which side you want to make the head and the tail now. So usually whichever side looks just a little bit nicer, I'll turn that into the head. So for the head, just take a little portion of it and fold it down in on itself, right? So just like that. And now you're left with the wings to fold down. So this part's pretty easy. You just want to make sure that these wings are symmetrical with each other. So just fold them both at the same time and make sure they're lined up real nicely. Okay, and one last step, the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, you can actually kind of just flare them out a little bit so that it has a kind of platform to sit on. And voila, that is your finished crane. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. And until next time, everybody, have a great one.